Let us discuss about tolerance. What is this tolerance and what are the types and mechanisms? All these things we'll discuss in this lecture. Okay. So what is the tolerance? Tolerance is the requirement of higher dose of a drug to produce a given response. Clear? Let's try to understand the definition. Suppose a certain dose of drug gives certain level of response in the body. Now if you need increased dose of the same drug to produce same level of response, then it is said to be is said then we can say that the person has developed tolerance, right? So he was able to initially the drug was able to produce this level of response at this dose, but now we need increased dose for the same level of response, right? So we say that the person has developed tolerance. Okay, and this is what is called tolerance. Now what is the mechanism behind this tolerance? The mechanism is, it's of two types. The mechanisms are two. One is pharmacokinetic mechanism, the other one is pharmacodynamic mechanism. In pharmacokinetic mechanism, what's happening here is the body develops ability to excrete the drug. So as the drug is being excreted, so the amount of drug in the body reduces. This results in less response, right? So the main mechanism is ability to excrete the drug, right? The body has developed the ability to excrete the drug, and this has led to tolerance, right? in the pharmacodynamics in the pharmacodynamics, what happens is, here the end organs or the target organs uh, will reduce the number of receptors, right? On the target organs there are on the target organs we have less receptors than previous, right? So here, so as the number of receptors are as reduced, so it results in reduced response. So simply we can say that down regulation of receptors has been acquired at the target site, right? So this is pharmacodynamic mechanism. So we have two mechanisms, right? One is pharmacokinetic and other in pharmacodynamic. In pharmacokinetics, what has happened is there the body has developed ability to excrete the drug, whereas in pharmacodynamics the end organs has developed uh, has undergone down regulation of receptors, right? So this is the mechanism. Let's see the types of uh, tolerance. We have three types of tolerance. One is natural tolerance, cross tolerance, and acquired tolerance, right? So we have three types of tolerance: natural tolerance, acquired tolerance, and cross tolerance, right? Let's see what's natural tolerance. Here the resistance is inherent, right? The resistance is inherent. Suppose, let's see the example. Suppose in a rabbit, if you give atropine to the rabbit, then there will be no response, because this rabbit is inherently resistant to this drug, right? So in natural resistance, the resistance is inherent. The example is rabbit. In rabbit, the resistance to atropine is inherent, right? So now acquired resistance. In acquired resistance, what's happening is, when you do repeated dosings, when you use when you give the drug to the patient repeatedly, then tolerance develops. Okay, this is what is called acquired resistance, and this is most commonly seen in cns drugs. And in acquired resistance, this tolerance need not develop equally to all the actions of drug, right? Suppose if you take chlorpromazine, right? This chlorpromazine has got two actions: antipsychotic action and sedative action. Here resistance develops only to sedative action but not to antipsychotics. So this is what is said, this is what is uh, acquired tolerance, right? So the thing that we have to remember here is, tolerance need not develop equal to all the actions of drug, right? This is acquired resistance. Now cross resistance. In cross resistance, what happens is, resistance developed to pharmacologically similar drugs, right? Pharmacologically similar drugs. Suppose if take morphine and pethidine, right? These two drugs are pharmacologically similar, right? Similar. So if you are using pethidine repeatedly, and now you have suddenly given morphine, right? Suppose if the person has developed resistance to pethidine, now you would have developed resistance to morphine also, right? This is what is called cross tolerance, right? Okay. Now now let's see uh, tachyphylaxis. What is tachyphylaxis? Here tachyphylaxis is seen in indirectly acting drugs. Now let's understand what is this tachyphylaxis, right? Suppose if take any CNS drugs, what they do is, suppose indirectly acting serotonin reuptake inhibitors, right? SSRIs, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, right? Serotonin reuptake inhibitors. What they do is they inhibit the uptake, right? They inhibit the uptake.